G'day punters, welcome back to Rapid Fire. John Walter from racingwatch.com.au. Jason as a party is chiming in to help us with the Adelaide selections. And boys, how you going?
Good, mate. Good.
On behalf of the Retro Bears.
Extra well.
We've got the retro wombat shirt that PD's wearing, and
we're going to do a Twitter poll. What is that on the logo? If one person votes for Bears, I'll give it up.
It's a bear.
If Wombat wins, your nickname's Wombat. But thanks for the clinic you put on Twitter last Saturday, PD. It was very astute. So thanks, buddy.
That's right, mate. Just happy to help. Happy to share some of the love.
Good stuff.
We had the week off, so fresh off the canvas. And we've been going pretty well, I think, overall. We're going to do the Victory Stakes and the Queensland Guineas there from Eagle Farm and the Morphettville Oaks. So, John, do you want to start with our first market, please?
Well, you want to talk about the track first, but I'll give you the market if you like. It is the Queensland Guineas, Bend the Knee 460, Character 460, Festival Dancers 750, Coast Watch 850, Ashgrove 13, Southern Stock 13, Red Wave 14, 16 Whitewater, 19 Cape Breton, 20 Menazi, 21 Dark Destroyer, $26 Antonio Giovanni, 34 Sea Ripple, $81 Kipling's Journey.
So we've got a 5 metre rail there at Eagle Farm, and look, I would suggest on pace, probably perhaps a touch off the fence in the straight, maybe 2 to 3 off, or better. But rails and run, no issue with that, I don't think. And it does look like a pretty decent clip here early, I suppose, with horses like Festival Dancer and Menazi and even Character up on the inside, and a couple out wide. Probably having to make some decisions like Coast Watch or even Whitewater, where it goes. It'll probably go back maybe. But anyone want to start the race off?
Yeah, sure, I'll start. Really love a race where I think the favourite can't win, and that's how I feel about Character here. So went looking pretty hard at this. Thought there was 3 chances. Pretty keen Bend the Knee here. Looks a target race. Third up into this. Really liked its run at Flemington during Cup Week, where it did beat a horse called what was that horse that doesn't win? Port Louis. But I really loved the way it won that day. It's always been a horse of interest for mine. They aimed it up after that at the Magic Million 3-year-old Guineas, which didn't work out for it. Off a spell, it ran 5th to Marzu, first up, 1200 unsuitable, then 3rd, which made ground behind Valana and Lock Eagle on a front running favourite day. 3rd up here, 1600, I think peaks. Barrier 2 can suit. I think it can take a reasonably forward position, and I think it looks a top pick. Thought the other 2 chances were the Waller 2, Coast Watch. Prepared to forget its last 2. They're obviously aiming it for the Doncaster. Soft and heavy, just didn't seem to handle it. I like the Waller, just pulled up stumps in the autumn, took it straight to Queensland, get some supplements back, or with that theory anyway. And, its first up win in the autumn where it beat Burning Power, I thought was quite good. So I think here at level weights, it's a chance, but just not sure how genuine it is. And then the other one is Cape Breton. Again, always been a horse of some promise. It ran in that Bend the Knee race on Cup Week, was 4.5 lengths behind Bend the Knee that day. SP $26, so market says it's got less ability than Bend the Knee. But second up last start in that listed race at Flying Crazy won. It was 4th, beaten 3.5 lengths, but should have finished a lot closer. So third up here, 1,600 metre Waller Polish, peaking at $16. I think there's a chance too. I'd be surprised if anything else went outside of those 3.
Okay, John, what do you say?
Going straight outside those 3. I'm just going away from the Sydney form a little. It's a Sydney horse. I'm finding Character. I agree, beaten up completely. Bend the Knee. I'm happy for him to beat me. I think he can certainly win. He just looks a bit of a suck, and I agree that he hasn't been ideally placed as yet. This is the easiest race he's seen, but got to run a mile. I really like the return of the Matthew Smith horse, which I really struggle to find as a rule, as a as a trainer, but I really thought it was given an absolute barrier trial in that James Carr behind Espiona, Festival Dancer, and hope it's certainly ridden far more aggressively here. And with the change of tactics, I think it's going to improve significantly. And it's the horse that I found in a tough race. But same as you, I didn't like character at all. And that was what appealed about the race. But there's just not too many with the setup to run a strong mile. I thought Cape Breton, that was the query with him as well. Just getting to a mile, I was a little bit worried about. And I thought this horse should be on pace and strong from the outside draw. Surely their hands are tied. They've got to go forward.
Okay, look, for me, I'm probably going to go with Festival Dancer here on top. I do think the setup's good. It really does need the mile, this horse, and I agree with what your comment was, John, given none, or at least intentionally or unintentionally, first up there, and I think it's very well suited in this event. And I do hope that Coast Watch can make a decision to be a little bit positive and go forward, and that's my second pick in the race. Look, I'm a little bit against the two favourites, Bend the Knee and Character, at the prices that they are currently. I'm not saying they can't win, they can, but certainly wouldn't be able to take 7-2 and 15-4 or anything like it for those two. So I think the value definitely lies in Festival Dancer and Coast Watch. And I'm going to throw a roughie in here for third pick. I know it's 35 days off, back in distance, but Stubborn Stock, El Cassidy, Chris Muntz, wouldn't be surprised if it did get over the top of them late, assuming they can make ground, because that's the problem for it. It's going to be back in the field. But I'd be sort of putting it into place. But and if you're going to back it at best, save on it. Don't necessarily look to make it a winner, but make the other two to winners. That's Coast Watch, Festival Dancer. That's my play here.
Are you guys expecting Festival Dancer to go straight to the lead here?
Well, I'm hoping so from the wide gate. Look, the other horse, Menazi, could certainly race it early and could lead. But I mean, it can settle either lead or outside lead for mine. And I don't necessarily think outside lead's going to be a disadvantage. But whether it controls or whether it sits OSL, I'd be happy enough myself here. As I said, Southern Stock, the problem for it is the map. And it'll get back, but if they're able to run on, which I'm not necessarily saying they should be able to, because we're saying it's going to be an on-pace day, but wouldn't surprise me if it ran into the hole at odds. That's all.
Next.
Okay, race 8. We're getting now the Victory Stakes. John, what's that?
Mighty Rothfire resuming, 270 to 245. Count to rupee, $5, $7.50 Baller. A little bit surprising. $9 Startontes, 14 Ranch Hands, 17 Scalapini, 17 Vega 1, 21 It's Me, 21 Jamea, Shakiro, 21, 31 Nicanova, 31 Wild Planet.
Who wants to go first? Jason?
I'll jump. Oh, he went first last time. Well, you can whack me in the firing line this time. I thought there was Rothfire, obviously very obvious, very solid trial. It's got the vitamins in it that poor old Heathcote's going to have to get in trouble for us up until last week. But no, he trialled very well. Looks like he goes straight to the front, and I think he's extremely obvious, but certainly the horse to run down. I'm just a little bit wary of. I think Ranch Hand's the horse that I'm a bit like Paul in the last race, Coast Watch. If they ride it closer and come across with Rothfire early and slot in the first 4. Back to 1,200 metres, I expect it to improve significantly. Ranch Hand, think it just totally unsuited up to the mile. And again, with the Waller polish, he's so good at these short breaks and reviving horses, better than anyone that I've probably seen. Those under sort of 60-day break, he can really turn a horse around. A little bit wary of Jamea as well. I'd back it before I'd back the stablemate Count to Rupee. But Rothfire, obvious the one to beat, and Ranch Hand, the big improver at $14 for me.
Jason.
Yeah, quite similar. I think Rothfire has always been dynamic first up. I know there may be a bit of question mark after his injury, but that fourth first up last prep was sensational behind Nature Strip, Eduardo and Guitra. There's obviously none of those horses here. Trialled like a bomb. It gets straight to the lead here and he's deserved favourite. I agree with all the points John made about Ranch Hand. The only other one that I thought might have a chance of winning, but I just think Matt might find her out, is Startontes. Well, she's a good horse, this filly. She was dominant in Brisbane. She went to the Golden Rose at big odds, ran huge. SP favourite in the flight, ran third. And then if you look at her first up run last prep, it was off a very short trial. And she ran third over 1,000 to Needorp, who's no slouch. They gave her a dig up that day. She was able to take a reasonable position. So she's 1,200, and her last two starts, second in the surrounder, being top notch. She had a very solid trial. They went bananas out in front. It was basically a race. She ran home superbly for fourth for this race with a bit of residual fitness. If she can take a position, I thought she was clear second pick. I think she's a very, very talented filly, and she'd be the danger for me.
There's a good case to make that Star Tonte is a 1,200-metre horse too. Like, she's been stretched as well, and even last start she dead set looked the winner there with 50 to go, didn't she? And like, what price is hinged in this? I agree with you there. But it's right in the race.
Okay, so I'm going to say Rothfire's top pick, but I'm a bit against it actually at the price, and at that price it is currently, I'd be laying it. Which is, could easily be very dangerous in the wrong move here because it does look the leader. But I'm just a little bit worried about that injury. I'm a little bit worried about the ratings that produced last preparation, but acknowledge it if it's right and it's close to its best, then it does look the leading chance. I think I'd have to be at least 5 to 2, 3 to 1 before I'd be interested. And I don't see it getting to that. So look, for me, I'm going to play a bit of a wild card here in Baller. Ryan Maloney first up for T. Golan. The horse has trial, which is key to this stable, I think, first up. And Ryan Maloney is their go-to jockey first up as well. So look, it could get trapped deep or in the 3 wide line, but I'm hoping he might be a little bit aggressive and try and send it a little bit forward and hopefully get in the first 3 or 4. If that's the case, then I think the 8 to 1-ish is good value. And my second pick here is the fitter or race fit Count the Rupee, who, look, it does have a bad run at Eagle Farm, and that is in the back of my mind. There's a bit of a worry, but I don't think the horse was going as good as it is recently. And for me, its recent form has been good. I mean, say for that first couple of runs back this prep, but that last start run and its form last preparation was good enough for me to warrant it, and I think the race fitness could make a difference. And look, it's going to be on the fence, probably midfield, maybe in the first half dozen or so if we're lucky enough, and it might need a bit of luck, but I think it's the second pick for me. Of my bets, Rothfire can't have it at the price. So Baller from Count the Rupee, and obviously nearly all these are first up, so there could be another surprise there.
The betting will be interesting because I think you're the first person I've heard say the price is too short, and because the map's so obvious, it's unlikely to probably blow too much. It'd be interesting to see what betting does there.
If I went back to its spring form of 2020, it's not too short.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is those 2 runs last prep just have me worried a little bit, and I've made enough money over the years out of these sort of scenarios. Obviously, it can win, and I think it's top pick, but nowhere near that price. So
love to get your insight. I think it'd be great for everyone to hear. So I look at that first up run in the shorts. It was on a 7, which potentially not suitable for it, but I thought it just first up after.
You're saying an official 7?
Wow, yeah, it was. It's a 7 on Racing Australia, but it was definitely rain affected. There's no doubt about it.
It was a dead track. It was a dead track. I agree with that.
So off 12 months off, beaten by those 3 very good horses and kept coming. Mm-hmm. Why didn't you think it was as good a run as I did?
Look, the run was fair enough. It's just that it was beaten 3.62 lengths, and the rating comes out what it comes out. And all I'm saying is that those 2 figures from last prep that it produced aren't good enough to win this to justify that type of 11 to 8 quote.
Fair enough.
I could be wrong. I mean, if it races back to that form in the spring of 2020, then it'll be very hard to beat. I'm just gambling.
I get where you're coming from. You've got
totally get it. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, you got like a double backup. It's got to beat its last prep and it's got to come back from the injury. Yeah.
And I just think if you're ever going to take them on, then that's the time to do it. And so, look, I'm wrong plenty of times.
Great insight.
Okay, let's get on to Adelaide, the Oaks. Over
Adelaide.
2,000 metres. What's our market?
My Whisper, undefeated. This prep, $3.90. Daisy's $9. Bonds of Pearl are $9.50. $10. Glint of Hope. Mac and Cheese $11. Barbrader $12. Dossier $12. So You See $12. Mamoonia $15. Bundle of Fun $19. Pretty Amazing $19. Fortunate Kiss $21. Roots $21. 33-1. The Field. And I'll go first here just to get me out of the way because these horses I'm leaving to the great man Azza. I'm just amazed that Mamoonia is $15. I think it's been a run behind all prep to beat, the boys over 24 off a 2,000 metre run. I know it had every possible chance last start, but this is the first time it's back to fillies 2,000. I know it's drawn 20. I just think it's a silly price. What looked to me a very open race. I couldn't be saying that My Whisper should be a dominant favourite and my half an hour look at the race, I thought Mamoonia was just overs, and that's all I can offer.
Okay, Jason.
Yeah, I've spent a fair bit of time on this. A lot of these fillies are tied into each other and raced against each other in the spring through races like the Wakeful, etc. So I've got a pretty good handle on this race, I feel. There's two lead-ups into this 2 weeks ago. There was the fillies race that My Whisper won and the Colts race that Harley Movin won that Daisy's running. They're the first two favourites here. It was noticeable that the fillies ran significantly faster overall time in that race. Look, for me, clear top pick here is My Whisper. And in a 100 to 10% market, I could have this $3 to what the Corps will get to. She was, if you look at her last win, she was 3 wide facing the breeze the entire trip. Mac and Cheese was on her back, had her cold, should have run past her. Bonds of Pearl had the rails runs up the inside, and she just savaged the line on one going away from both of those horses in the last 100. I thought it was a highly, highly credible win. All her runs this prep have been full of merit, and I think she's a lot better chasing a horse. She gets a soft. These fillies are pretty even. I think the run of the race is going to be important here. She's drawn 3. She's got Jamie on. I think if she stays one off the fence, doesn't get caught on the fence, and gets a break, she'll win. I think $4.60 that you can get at the moment is a great price, and very surprised you can get that and have had a significant bet on it. So as I alluded to, she ran away from Bonza Perla. Daisy's. I can't have it of its last run. It's drawn 17. And if you go back to its Mooney Valley win, Bonza Perla was 3 wide the whole trip and was a better run than it. And Douceur was as good a run as it. So I'm giving it none Daisies. My danger to My Whisper is a horse called Bundle of Fun. It's the emergency. It's got to run now without Patroness scratched. It was really good through Tassie. It probably should have won every race. And then when I finally got a race with pace on, it beat Honey Creeper, whose form then stacked up in Sydney. Had 2 months off running a mile race at Caulfield last start, which Glint of Hope ran in, and it was an absolute moral beat there. 2,000 metre suit, soft draw, Jay Allen. It's $20. I've got it marked 9. Douceur, it was average last start with 60 kilos. I wish it had run a bit better, but I don't want to let it go around as a loser. It's been a clear target race. Should have nearly won the Oaks in the spring. Was credible in the Wakeful. And also Mamoonia was just the last one I had there, which was love the DF, but 20. Can it really win a Group 1 from barrier 20? Where is it going to get to? So that's why I was struggling to find a case for it. So I'm on My Whisper clearly. Bundle of Fun will be a good winner for me, and I won't be losing on Douceur, and I'm feeling pretty confident.
I was hoping he'd jam Mamoonia just from that wide draw, just with the 2,400 under his belt and that. And there's not a lot of speed there, and those races that My Whisper, they're all really slowly run races all the way through. So I'm really hoping for the Mamoonia backers that Oliver gives it a squeeze early.
I think he will. Yeah, it's just where it gets to and how hard it has to work. But it's 24
Agreed.
back to 2. You know, it's a good setup, and you know the stable did it with Cascadian last week in terms of a freshen up, albeit it had some favours on the fence and in the wet. But you know, I think it's a stable that can do this, and you know, she's got a chance.
And what did you think about Barbara?
I lost a bit of faith in Jerome Hunter, the trainer, in the spring. He had the Oaks on a plate. He went back to the 1,000 Guineas. Yeah, she ran third, and he just sort of stuffed up her prep. Again here, I sort of thought she had, you know, a chance for a perfect prep, and then he takes it to Sydney on a bog to run in a Group 1 and I'm just against it because of the setup here, and not just, you know, he's just sort of been a bit all over the shop in his prep, and it hurt him last prep. And that's why, yeah, you can't take them all. She's a talented filly, and I've won money on her, but that's why I'm against her in this.
See, she's got concussion plates back on too.
There you go.
But it did win. It did win the Vanity first up with the concussion plates on at Flemington.
I just worry when they come off and come back on. It just
And it was well back that day too. It was sort of 5-2 into 15-8. It did lose a plate last time, John. The horse in Sydney, so whether it twisted the plate and maybe that's why they're opting to go down that way. But look, for me, in my opinion, I don't want to lose if Barbara wins, so I'll be having something on it, at least to chop out or win a little bit. But for me, it's all about my whisper, morale.
Whoa, here's the M word. I thought you were going to rip me. I thought you were going to rip me to shreds. Then I just saw the look on your face, and I thought, Wombat's going to come over the top here and just rip my analysis to shreds after it's
going to come out of the burrow throwing punches.
I hate using the word morale. I shouldn't say that. I think it's just an absolutely tremendous chance. But I mean, I think there's also a few things, you know, that others might see that are a bit negative towards it. So hopefully we'll get a bit of a better price. I think on the fair it's around that sort of 4-1, 9-2 mark on the fair. Probably not much money there, maybe only $100 or $200. But yeah, so wouldn't necessarily. What is there?
I saw $4 earlier. Right, I checked. But if
I don't think you'll be getting, like Jamie's picked it.
70 at $5. There you go. As you can snip that. I wouldn't.
No, you don't got to tell him twice.
Oh, I'm taking it, but I'm actually going to put my money where my mouth is. So anyone who watches this that thinks they can't win,
what are you saying? Can't win?
No, I'm saying if anyone's watching this and thinks they can't win, I'll just put up 3,000 at 520. There you go. You can lay me if you want, kids. PD will take it. Put it back at $5.40 in a few hours.
Sorry.
No, I said you'll lay it now and then bet it back and RB in a few hours.
No. We don't do that. We just go down with the ship. Look, I've got it marked shorter than what it is currently, and I just think it's an absolute tremendous chance. I can't see any reason to want to be on anything else in particular. Obviously, there's lots of chances, you know, especially on the fringe, because it's got a long tail, this race, I think. But, you know, Daisy's obviously some chance. I think Barbara, as I said, don't want to be losing on it. Look, I think maybe a horse that's unders at the moment is Mac and Cheese. I don't understand why it's single figures. So
Sounds
my
good.
whisper. That's my best in terms of the races that we've covered.
Can you tell me what you've got bundle of fun marked? Given I said I've got it marked $9-10.
I'm a bit longer than you, Jason.
That's 31s.
You're reading the signs, reading the signals. Oh God.
A bit longer than you, but yeah. So hopefully, punters, we can get you some gold again this week. There's only the 3 races covered. I think next week there'll be more, but I'm not sure what's going to happen with regards to next week because of my participation at Warrnambool, and I'll also be at Caulfield Saturday. So, Jason, are you going? to Warrnambool?
Not going to the Bull. No. I'll be watching on TV, unfortunately. But I expect to hear some stories of your shenanigans there. It'll be the most vibrant bookie ring you'll have seen in Australia in quite a while. That's one thing I'm going to.
Pack the Wombat jumper, mate. Top of 14.
Take cash, Paul, because you'll have an enjoyable time out there.
Might need the armour guard. Anyway, okay, boys. Thanks for that. Thanks for your participation again. And punters, hope you get a winner. And we'll see you either next week, but we'll reveal more about that next week. Otherwise, it will definitely be the week after. Either way.
And take me on at the 520, punters. It's up there.
Cheers, guys.
See you guys.